Have you ever wondered what you would ask for if you could have anything in the world? Would you ask for wealth? Power? Fame? Or would you ask for wisdom? The story of King Solomon is one of the most remarkable stories in the Bible. It is a story about wisdom, success, prosperity, and the importance of staying faithful to God. Solomon became the wisest king who ever lived, built one of the most magnificent temples in history, and ruled over a kingdom unlike any before it. Yet his story also reminds us that even the wisest people can make mistakes when they lose sight of what truly matters. Long ago, the nation of Israel was ruled by King David, a man after God's own heart. David led Israel through many battles and established Jerusalem as the capital of the kingdom. As David grew old, he knew the time had come for a new king to rule after him. Among his sons was Solomon. Although Solomon was still young, God had chosen him to become the next king of Israel. Before David died, he encouraged his son to remain faithful to God, obey his commandments, and lead the people with integrity and justice. Soon after David's death, Solomon became king. The responsibility before him was enormous. He was now leading a great nation.
He needed wisdom to make good decisions, guide the people, and honor God. One night, God appeared to Solomon in a dream. God said, "Ask for whatever you want me to give you." Imagine being given such an opportunity. Many people would have asked for riches. Others might have asked for long life or victory over their enemies. But Solomon asked for something very different. He prayed, "Give me wisdom and understanding so that I may govern your people well and know the difference between right and wrong." God was pleased with Solomon. Because Solomon had not asked for wealth, power, or a long life, God promised to give him unmatched wisdom. But God also promised to bless him with riches, honor, and peace unlike any king before him. Before long, Solomon's wisdom became known throughout the world. People traveled from distant lands just to hear him speak. One day, two women came before Solomon carrying the same heartbreaking dispute. Both claimed to be the mother of a baby. There were no witnesses, no clear evidence.
The situation seemed impossible to solve. Then Solomon gave a surprising command. "Bring me a sword." The room fell silent. He said, "Cut the child in two and give half to each woman." Immediately, one woman cried out, "No, please don't harm the child. Give the baby to her instead." The other woman agreed to divide the child. At once, Solomon knew who the real mother was. The woman willing to give up her child to save his life was the true mother. The entire nation was amazed by Solomon's wisdom. His reputation spread across kingdoms. Kings and queens came from faraway lands to hear his counsel. One of the most famous visitors was the Queen of Sheba. She traveled a great distance with camels carrying gold, spices, and precious jewels. She asked Solomon many difficult questions. To her amazement, Solomon answered every one with wisdom and understanding. She was astonished by his knowledge, his magnificent palace, the organization of his kingdom, and the prosperity of Israel. She praised God for giving Israel such a wise king. During Solomon's reign, Israel experienced a time of peace and prosperity. Trade flourished. The nation became wealthy. People lived in safety. Perhaps Solomon's greatest achievement was building the temple in Jerusalem. For generations, God's people had worshipped in the tabernacle, a portable tent built during the time of Moses. Now, Solomon would build a permanent house dedicated to the Lord. Thousands of skilled workers gathered stone from quarries and cedar wood from Lebanon. Master craftsmen shaped gold, silver, bronze, and precious materials into works of extraordinary beauty. After years of careful work, the temple was completed. It was one of the most magnificent buildings the world had ever seen. When the people gathered to dedicate the temple, Solomon offered a heartfelt prayer. He thanked God for keeping his promises. He prayed that anyone who sought God there with sincere hearts would be heard. As the prayer ended, God's glory filled the temple, and the people worshipped with joy and reverence. It was one of the greatest moments in Israel's history. But success can sometimes create new challenges. As the years passed, Solomon became wealthier and more powerful than ever. He collected enormous treasures. He built impressive palaces. He formed alliances with many neighboring nations. As part of these alliances, Solomon married many foreign women. Over time, his heart slowly drifted away from complete devotion to God. Some of his wives worshipped other gods and encouraged Solomon to do the same. Little by little, the king who had once asked God for wisdom began making unwise. He allowed places of worship for false gods to be built throughout the land. The man known for his wisdom failed to follow the very wisdom God had given him. God was deeply disappointed. Although Solomon remained one of history's greatest kings, his disobedience brought lasting consequences. God told Solomon that after his death, much of the kingdom would be divided. The peace and unity Israel had enjoyed would not continue forever. Despite these failures, Solomon accomplished many remarkable things during his lifetime. He wrote many wise sayings that are preserved in the book of Proverbs. He also wrote Ecclesiastes, reflecting on the meaning of life, and the Song of Solomon, celebrating love and devotion. His writings continue to inspire millions of people around the world. Near the end of his life, Solomon reflected on everything he had experienced. He had possessed incredible wealth, great wisdom, power, fame, success beyond imagination. Yet he realized that none of these things could truly satisfy the human heart without God.